the confirmation or the sad news from the national coach to whether I'm in the team for the World Championship in China.
Let's say the princesses of Europe in Europe's second tier. Those were just some beautiful scenes when Renata de Arruda actually went to her team and celebrated that trophy.
Ball across the Dylan Nahi, double in flight. Oh, what a start!
Into the net.
She does it again.
Yes, and Magdeburg are the champions of Europe. Put something here. What a game! The keeper. What a comeback!
And then it is time to talk handball again, everybody, and it is the final time in the EHF European competitions, in the European club competitions, to be fair. But just right now, we are recording on Monday, right after the EHF Finals of the Women in Graz. They were played. But before we go there, when we're talking about trophies in club competitions that are being destroyed, we have a guy in here that knows what it takes to take them home. Ladies and gentlemen, Víctor, Tomàs, how's it going?
Hello, everything good, pretty busy weekend for me, full of handball as always, but everything is good. The sun is shining in Barcelona, good weather, so yeah, pretty good.
Actually, where have you been around?
I was in France, in Lyon. I was watching the friendly game between France and USA handball team. That was on Saturday, and then on Sunday I went to San Sebastián to watch the La Copa de la Reina. So actually it was a pretty crazy weekend.
Fair enough. I can guess, but then on the other side, we see a guy who looks like he had a crazy weekend there as well. Because I was about to introduce you with the words he's shining even more when summer is around, but he starts to glow all day and all night. You can see him in the dark. He is Mr. Beach Handball, Martin Vilstrup. How are you?
I'm good. And as you can see, the sun is finally out in Denmark, and sunscreen, putting that on your body in Denmark is not a thing, because you gotta, take advantage of the sun being out. But I'm good at the national training camp with the beach handball. So a little bit tired today, to be honest, but all good.
Yeah, I was actually just about to ask, because I was wondering, do you guys know about the invention of sunscreen at all? Because it is a thing. People all around Europe, they put sunscreen on to not get burned as you are.
Yeah, maybe a little bit burned in the face, but it was from yesterday, so now it is a little bit red, and then it will be brown, I'm for sure. So maybe the next episode, you guys will be jealous of the skin tone that I will have by that time.
Probably, yeah, something in that direction. But other than that, what's coming up next for you, Martin? What is your beach handball schedule promising for you?
This week I actually don't have that much. Waiting for the confirmation or the sad news from the national coach to whether I'm in the team for the World Championship in China. That's going to be held in middle June. Besides that, then I have a tournament in 2 weeks in the Netherlands, and then I'm going to Budapest with you guys. I don't know if I'm allowed to spoil it, but we are now. It's out there. So and then we have a couple of Danish tournaments also, but that's on the Danish beach tour. So hopefully I will be in the squad for World Championship in China.
Let's hope so. Let's keep our fingers crossed for you. That would be something here. But before we start to talk too much here about beach handball and get Martin praised into the sky, let's keep it at the action that was being played this weekend, because I was just about to, or I was thinking about how are we going to introduce them. Because the Queens of Europe, they are being crowned on the 2nd of June. Let's say the princesses of Europe in Europe's second tier. That is Storhamar. Storhamar Storhamar actually managed to take it home, to take home the EHF European League, and they took down Gloria Bistrita in a thrilling final because Gloria Bistrita, they didn't lose a single game until the very last game, so they didn't lose until the final. Víctor, how do you handle those situations? Because now that you're in the final and you're on such a long streak and don't manage to take the last step, what does that do to you as a pro athlete?
That's a good question, because actually I never liked it to go into the final without losing any games. I think that we also talked about that in the Euro, that we were doing the watch alongs and everything for the Euro in Germany, that I don't like to, during a championship, don't lose any games, because then it's an extra pressure if you reach the final, and at some point you have to lose. At some point you have to lose. And actually Gloria, they have been playing really good during the whole competition. They were leading in the halftime by 1 goal, and actually it was a game that it was not decided until the almost last second. So it's really difficult mentally to accept that you have been so good during the whole competition and just lost the final. So I'm sure that they will have a hard time to bounce back from that, mentally speaking.
Yeah, and especially I'm looking at one position here, because if we're looking at the goalkeeper matchup, that was nuts. So we're having Renata de Arruda with 13 saves throughout the game. On the other side, we have Ellie Marie Rasok, who actually managed to save 12 balls. But you saved 13 shots out of 39, and you still don't manage to win the game. On one hand side, I would say that would be devastating, but on the other side, we have Renata de Arruda being crowned as the MVP of that tournament, because in the semifinal she saved 11 balls there as well, and she was one main reason why Gloria was where they actually were, because over 40% of saved balls throughout the whole competition, those are some massive numbers.
Yes, it's very good numbers, and especially in the final, you know, when your team has overall 15 save, which is 3 more than the other team, because also Anastasia Babovic, she saved two shots. That's hard. That's hard to take, because as we know, normally the logic say that the team who has more saves, they end up winning the game. But yeah, Renata Arruda, she just made a great competition, and she's just keeping the momentum for the Brazilian goalkeepers, which have probably one of the best trio that can have in the world, with Babi Arenhardt and Moreski, and she's doing a great job there in Gloria, and I'm sure that she can give great things to that team, which is doing a very good things and very good project. But yeah, of course, it's devastating when your goalkeeper save more goals and you anyway lose the final.
Then on the other hand, still it's a rarity that a goalkeeper becomes MVP of a tournament there, or of the EHF finals, and those were just some beautiful scenes when Renata de Arruda actually went to her team and celebrated that trophy, basically like taking home the entire cup there as well. She didn't seem to be, too heartbroken because of that trophy, because she was like, well, we are awarded for that great season that we have been playing. We haven't been losing a single match here, and this trophy, it's not for me, it's for the entire team. And that's what she meant, and that's what you could really feel once that she was holding that trophy and celebrating that with her ladies. If you're saving over 40% throughout an entire tournament, you deserve that MVP trophy. Don't you think so, Martin?
Yeah, for sure. If normally you say that goalkeepers, they can win matches, but as Víctor also said, it's when I thought, saw the stats, I was also in some way thinking about the France national team with Desbonnet and Belachin. They also in the European Championship final against Denmark, if I recall it correctly, had fewer saves than Denmark and Emil Nielsen and Niklas Landin. So I don't know if it's something that we're seeing more often than earlier, that the goalkeepers can have a little bit fewer saves, and then maybe the opponents are better at forcing technical mistakes or shots over target or blocks or whatsoever. But in general, it's well deserved for the goalkeeper. They normally have a huge impact in the team, but I bet if we ask her if she could change that trophy with the one that Storhamar has, she would do it any day. But that's mostly what you hear from the players. But of course, it's always nice to be recognized for your performances.
Yeah, but that trophy actually went over to the other team. It went to Storhamar, and that after a thrilling semifinal already. So they were behind almost all match, and then they only managed to turn it around in the very last minute. And those were some emotions running through your body there as well. And yeah, well, they were just they had wings after that semifinal. You could really feel that, and they would not want to lose a final after having won a semifinal just in such a thrilling manner. How does it feel to go into another day of playing handball after such a long match, such an intense matchup, knowing that you have to play tomorrow?
Well, for me, it's also about the momentum, and they came out of the semifinal with a 1-goal lead, and you know you're there for 2 days, and you're gonna give it all. So you're just gonna give whatever's left in the tank. It's a final, so you can always motivate yourself. All the players, they've been training the whole year, and all the goals they're setting for themselves and for the team is to play the biggest matches. So whenever you're in these finals, you have to remind yourself about that. So of course, it's tough to play a lot of games in a few days, but I would also say the modern handball, a lot of teams playing in Europe and the domestic league, they play every third day or fourth day. So yeah, obviously 2 tough games in 2 days. It's tough, but it's a final. You don't think about it.
After that game, it was much tougher for Nantes to play the next day for the 3rd and 4th position than for Storhamar, because mentally, if you end up winning that game and the way it was, you are not tired. You are not even tired, because your mind is giving you the message that, okay, tomorrow I have a final and I have to be 100%, and you don't even think about how sore or how tired you are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if you're playing for an international trophy, then you would always want to give it your all, and that's what Storhamar did, and that's why they deserved that trophy, and especially looking at the good work that they've been doing. So I think after 7 or 8 years, they had their first appearance in international competitions again in 2017-18, and after then Kenneth Gabrielsen took over in 2020, they just managed to become better and better and better, and well, some people even say that is the biggest achievement of the club's history. So well, it was a well-deserved trophy that they took home, and one has to see where the road will lead for Storhamar, because I'm not telling you news here when we're talking about the Champions League spot that the Norwegians have. That Vipers is a tough competition to get that one.
For sure, in the domestic league, you can never argue about that. Vipers are the biggest one, but if I recall it correctly, it's also the first time ever that a Norwegian team wins the EHF European League on the women's side, and obviously it's huge for Storhamar. And I think they always want to challenge, the big ones, which is Vipers here. But they have a great team, and I'm not sure about this one, but didn't they also play Champions League last season, if I recall it correctly, against I remember a match against Odense or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong here. They definitely played in Europe, and in general they also have a couple of players that played in Denmark, and therefore obviously I know some of them with Mathilde Rivers Toft, who played in Viborg and also played a great game in the final here with a couple of goals from far distance, and they have Line Ellersen, and also the goalkeeper you said earlier, Eli Maria. She also played, and Mia Svele. So I know a couple of them. So it's a quality team, and coming out of a weekend with a 1-goal win and a 2-goal win, I think the celebration tasted a little bit better. Also being the first ever Norwegian team to win it, and against
absolutely.
the undefeated.
And you're actually right. So Storhamar did play the Champions League last year. They were knocked out by Odense, lost the first leg in the playoffs quite clearly by 8 goals and drew in the second leg. So that's where their international flight ended last year. But this year they could crown themselves as the princesses of Europe. I would say that the Norwegians are very proud of it.
The competition is every season better and better. I think that the way that is played, and also playing a Final Four, it's making the competition more more exciting for the teams to win, because always this Final Four format in a weekend to play against all the best teams, it's great, to measure your quality against the best teams. And I think that the competition is growing, and it was overall, I think, a very nice final weekend.
Which of the players that we have been watching last weekend, if you would have to pick one, who would it be to actually go out and help a Champions League team, so that we might see in the future in a different team that could really take a Champions League team to the next level?
I think that Renata Arruda, she can do that.
Yeah,
she can do that. Experienced goalkeeper, and I think she could have a spot in a Champions League team perfectly.
Yeah, for her, not the problem is, but her statement was, we will be coming back and be doing even more. I want to help my team, so that didn't sound like I want to go and challenge some more opportunities, or want to look for new challenges here. So she seemed quite confident with Storhamar, and that is good news for that team as well, because as I would totally agree with you that once you save over 40% throughout an entire competition, you could have a look into another shelf. But it's good that she seems to be happy where she is. Martin, what would you say?
Well, I thought about it here. Also, I think the line player Morena Frosat from Gloria also played a great game, and she also earlier played in Larvik and Gjør, so definitely already have the experience from the Champions League. Otherwise, I would say in general the Obeidli sisters, they are from Norway. They are in general very interesting, and her sister is already playing in Denmark. But it takes a lot of not only character but also can you call it talent to go into a Champions League team and then make a difference. But I would say Anniken Obeidli could also be an interesting one. Could see her in Denmark as well. And as Víctor said, I just want to add to it that Final Four is just, I don't know if, can we call it a sexy kind of tournament that also with the men's, looking at the teams in general, it's a strong competitions. With the men's, we have Flensburg, Handewitt, Fischer Berlin, Rhein-Neckar Löwen, and Dynamo Bucharesti. Bucharesti was also in the Champions League last year. Fischer Berlin will be next year in the Champions League, and normally I would also say Flensburg Handewitt is. So in general, on the men's and the women's side, it's a nice competition. Although that often Champions League are getting all the attention, it's a nice one to follow, and there are a lot of great players in general in these tournaments.
Yeah, 100%. Especially now that you've been talking about Anniken Obeidli. She became top scorer of that competition here as well, scoring 82 goals. That is, in that case, super interesting, because the second player is Cenge Kushora with only 59 goals. She has played 4 matches less, but still, no one even was close to matching those numbers from Annika Nobaitli, and that is some massive performance there that absolutely deserves some credit here. So. Yeah, congratulations out to Storhamar, but of course, on the other hand, congratulations to Gloria Bistrita here as well for becoming second and almost going undefeated through an entire season. But as Víctor Tomàs said, you never go without losing. You always have to lose one.
Well, you can do that because actually Barça did it one season, but
yeah,
but it's really difficult. It's really difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. But you guys know what is difficult as well? Beating any of you when it comes down to the biggest competition that we have in this podcast. It is time for another round of Who Am I? And I am super interested how much you guys prepared yourselves, because it is possible to, if you guys have been preparing, then that you guys know who I will be talking about, because we're playing a round of Who Am I?
You're throwing us under the bus here. If you don't get it within the first 5 hints, then
no. It could be a difficult one here as well, but I'm super interested. So we're playing a round of Who Am I? You guys get hints from me, and whoever guesses first maybe gets the point or loses the point. If you get it wrong, you lose it to the opponent, and
the
that's
score
why.
is.
The score should be 6-4 by now, or
you know perfectly what's the score, so shut the fuck up. Come on.
Yeah, well, last week you weren't too bad, Víctor. But Martin, is it 5-4 or 6-4? Actually, are you leading by 1 or by 2?
You know, I stopped counting at some point.
I think. We are gonna check on that. But Martin is leading, that's for sure. Let's see whether he can keep it there. We're playing a round of Who Am I? First hint: I am 27 years old. You guys are not going to get that from get it from that hint, so I'll give you the next one. I came to Europe to play handball in 2016.
16.
You guys need to think a little bit about that. I came to Europe to play handball in 2016. My latest transfer was from France to Hungary.
Hungary.
Some names could be running through your mind right now. Who transferred from France to Hungary? Next hint: I'm a right back. It's always great to see how Martin is whispering his thoughts. He still needs the focus though. All right. Next hint: I was the first Brazilian player to be rewarded MVP at the EHF Finals Women. Second Brazilian player actually was this year's Renata de Arruda.
Our first player. What?
I was the first Brazilian player.
At the moment, we have
MVP.
Someone that is 27 years old, moved to Europe in 2016, and changed from France to Hungary, and is a right back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's first one to get MVP.
At the EHF Finals on the women's side. And that was in 2021 with Metz.
Metz.
Right. Mm-hmm.
She's a right back.
Yeah, I also wanted her to be. I only have one name in my head, but I don't think it's her.
Oh,
she's not a right back.
She's a left back. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, okay, then I also.
Good on you. Sorry.
I also know it, but Víctor, you can have it first.
I
think I know it. No. She's, what did you say? She's 27 years old?
Yeah. And
No,
with
then
that,
I don't know it.
I am going to double check on that here as well. But yeah, with that, I'm sure. No Googling here. Anyone want to solve?
No.
27. I think so. Yes, I'm going to go for it.
All right, then go ahead.
Bruna de Paula.
For sure, of course. It's Chris O'Reilly's favorite player.
I did become the top scorer of the EHF European League that season. This season, I'm at 38 goals in the EHF Champions League Women. Chris O'Reilly loves to scream my name. Hello, my name is Bruna de Paula.
Yeah.
Yes. But thank God, because I had her in my head, and thank God I correct you about the right back, because then it was like, I didn't know, you know?
No, absolutely. You're right. That's my bad here. I'm sorry. Sorry, Bruna.
That should count too. You know?
Point back to Víctor, and I think we should be at 5-5 now. I think, Martin, you were trailing 4-2, and then you won 3 in a row. And now we should be back to level terms. Congratulations to Víctor, not just for guessing it right, but guessing it right with a wrong hint here. And good on you for recognizing that. Sorry about that, but you are completely right. Congratulations. But yeah, it was actually the hint. I was the first Brazilian player to be rewarded MVP at the EHF Finals Women, because that was the story behind Renata de Arruda, that she became the second player. And that's where one could stumble over that. But that wasn't an easy one. Good on you, Víctor.
Thank you.
Well,
thank you.
It's great to have the competition back. Before it was a little bit one-sided, but now it's back and it's great. And I will look forward to next episode.
Cool.
Martin, don't be shy. You didn't get it. You look red in your face. Don't be shy.
You can see that I'm getting a little bit red here.
Fair enough. Cool. And then let's close it down on a laugh here. Congratulations to Víctor and to Storhamar. But yeah, the bigger victory this weekend definitely belongs to Storhamar. The next one is just about to come next week. I think we should do a little prediction round for the EHF finals on the men's side there as well. It is being played in Germany. Not upcoming weekend, the weekend after it, the upcoming weekend. I don't know the English word for it, but I don't care about it. So it should be the 25th and 26th of May, where the EHF finals are being played in Hamburg, and we have 4 amazing teams, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, boys, and with that, I'd say let's keep it here. We'll see each other again next time when it's time to talk handball again.
Ball across to Dylan Nahi, double in flight. Oh, what a start!
Into the net.
She does it again.